Yep, this perp back with another video, and I just got done watching Cruel Summer episode 4. So, definitely a better episode compared to last week's. Maybe because we focus more on Kate's character and get a lot more backstory on who she is as a person. And it definitely kind of surprised me. A lot of things did, definitely. I didn't expect her to have like pretty much a black stepsister that she really wants to make her sister, which I kind of felt was kind of weird throughout this whole entire episode. That's just me. But like I said, this was mainly a Kate-centric episode. There was really no Jeanette throughout this, but a lot of interesting things happen in the future. Well, I guess 95. Let's talk about 95. We get this scene of, Kate and her family talking to the lawyer saying like, yo, are you sure you want to go about this? And, they're going to be pressing you, so we got to get you ready. My issue with this scene, right? And tell me if I'm tripping, because you can go back and rewatch this again. They literally do this, when they do this first shot or this first scene, they do it again when they come back to the scene. It's really weird. I know it's kind of hard to explain, but if you go back and watch it, they kind of recycle this scene twice throughout this. It was kind of really sloppy. There was a lot of sloppy direction even in the beginning, where you saw Ashley's character not really like looking at Kate. It was like a weird thing. I don't know why she couldn't make eye contact with her. Like, that was earlier in the episode. But that's just little nitpicks. It's definitely not a perfect episode, but I'd say it's still better. Still has flaws. So it's whatever. We get introduced to Kate's kind of therapist, somebody she has to talk to. We get a lot more insight on exactly what happened to her. We'll get back to that. We get a really interesting scene in this episode where we see Mallory being friends with Kate. That's interesting to me. And I will get to why that is when we get to that scene where they actually kind of explain that. Going back to Kate's mother, though, she is really I feel like the real problem of this whole entire series, as far as just like the big villain. She really doesn't care about Kate. She doesn't really care about anything. She's very much selfish, and you really see how real grimy she is throughout this whole entire episode. And probably we're going to see it even getting worse as the series progresses. Then we get this cool little, family get together. They all go skeet shooting, and the mother decides to invite the creepy new assistant principal guy. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Things start kind of getting weird. Them jumping back through time, like from 93 to 94 to 95. It can get kind of confusing, and sometimes you can get lost. But, you can tell by the tone of the scene what year it is and whatnot. Anyways, so we get to the scene where they explain how Mallory and Kate became friends, because they see the same therapist. They kind of have similar issues. They both don't like Jeanette. So that's interesting. And we get some interesting reveals about Mallory, like not ever liking Kate's character up until this point now. And that says a lot about a person that, you have Jeanette that you grew up with, that you don't really mess with anymore, compared to you start to befriend somebody that you never liked. So it's kind of weird. I don't know how you guys feel about Mallory's character, if that kind of changes your perspective on her. Let me know in the comments if you have an issue with that, or you're completely fine with that. Now we have Kate's mother on a witch hunt, trying to like make sure things don't go left when Jeanette goes to sue them and they go to court, and things I feel like that's where things are going to mess up and go in Jeanette's favor. And when we get to that court date or whatever we get there, that is probably when we'll start to kind of see a shift with just the story, because now maybe when we get towards the end of this, more people be on Jeanette's side. Who knows? I just think that's pretty interesting. Here's the scene where they could have just completely cut this out. This whole skeet shooting scene, it was just really sloppy, and I don't know what they were trying to do. I just didn't really need it, to be honest. That's just me personally. Moving on to another interesting scene of her kind of waking up from this nightmare, seeing the assistant principal. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I don't know why. It's just really late right now, and I'm tired. I apologize. But anyways, interesting scene between Kate and Ashley, and just Ashley's kind of fed up with just all Kate's bullshit, just trying to force her to be her sister, where she don't really give a damn about her, like they're not blood related in any way. And I completely feel Ashley on that, like, just leave me alone. But you could really tell in the scene that this kind of hurt Kate's feelings a lot, because she really looks at that side of her family as legit family. And we get back to the counselor, or the therapist, I should say, and Kate is breaking down exactly kind of what happened to her experience just being locked up and whatnot. And it's really fucked up, but also I feel like there might be some things that she's leaving out on purpose. That's something we probably have to find out for next episode, or the next couple episodes. Moving along to a scene with Kate's mom approaching Mallory, asking her, "Are you the rat? Are you trying to, like, affect us in any way? Because if you are, there will be repercussions." And it's just like, damn, you really threatening Mallory right now? And that kind of gets pushed right back into Kate's mom's face later on in this episode, which was excellent. But before we get there, we have this scene. I'm assuming this is 94, and they're trying to, at this point, completely crush Jeanette and get some charges. At least the mom wants some charges put on Jeanette for this. I don't think that Kate wants the same thing. I look at it as kind of a cry for help, maybe. But it's interesting where they take this, man, because maybe there's definitely more to the story, obviously. Maybe when she gets kidnapped, or probably gets kidnapped or stays in this basement, she ends up getting too comfortable, and that's something she doesn't want to admit. I don't know. Maybe that's a reach. Anyways, getting to a scene where Kate catches Ashley pretty much going through her computer, and they kind of have this back and forth. Ashley wants to make things right with Kate, but Kate's like, no, you kind of said F me back then when we was on that trip and whatnot. Now you want to kind of save face? No. And that's the thing about Kate's character. She's starting to see that people are acting brand new around her ever since she's came back. So I don't know. Really interesting stuff here. Now we get to a scene where she goes completely savage on her mom, her dad, and just everybody at this campfire. This is like 95, and you could just tell that she just doesn't care anymore. And I'm wondering if I don't know what to expect from Kate's character going forward. She's definitely hiding something, but she's talking about this story about Annabelle. I'm kind of curious about exactly who was Annabelle. Is that an actual person or something that was created or manifested? I don't know. So the episode pretty much ends with Ashley talking to Jeanette's brother, and they're just talking about this whole situation. And it come to find out that the way she's been able to contact or talk to Kate is through the messenger thing, going back and forth. And I'm wondering how that's going to play out, if Kate's going to find out who that is. I want to see what this Annabelle thing is. She goes through these old, tapes that were her therapy tapes, and something about it just triggers her. So it's just, all this stuff is kind of interesting to me. How do you guys feel about this series overall? Are you enjoying it? Or is it starting to get kind of old to you? I'm curious to get people's thoughts on this series as a whole. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode. I will see y'all next week. Peace.